Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtihim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ma Nitya Pramayananda, and today I will be talking in the series of Sannyas about the deities and the temples. So, just to behind me, just a little note, behind me the sacred banyan tree, and in Tiruvannamalai Adinam. So Tiruvannamalai is the place where Swamiji was born and brought up, and where the sacred hill of Arunachala is being present, which is just at the front of me. An amazing view, and yes, the Adinam is just located at the foot of the hill. So coming back to the subject, the deities and the temples. So why I would like to talk about it is because it's an important subject. It's an element in the Hindu tradition which is just a core of it as well. And my experience with the deities and the temples, and what I've heard from Swamiji. So what I remember a satsang some time ago when Swamiji was talking about the temples and how they are able to transform the person's energy. So what he was saying, that in the West, we do, as a human beings, as beings who are equipped with a mind, we are producing emotional or mental wastage, which is basically energy dirt. And I remember some years ago I was interested a little in a feng shui, and there was a very popular book by an author whose name, I think she was American, who I trust. I remember her name was Kings, if I remember right. And she wrote a book on the feng shui. So what she was doing actually through this system, she was clearing the public spaces, public buildings. And she was very sensitive to the energy. Not only that, she was able to sense the thickness or the quality of the energy, as well as see it. And so what she was writing about in this book was that, and it was done, majority of it has been done in public places in America. So very often, or the majority of buildings, she was astonished to see, or to sense, to see that the energetical wastage in those places is so big. So she was describing that sometimes the this, call it energetic dirt, is basically was going from the walls like 1.5 meters inside the room. So I remember when I thought about it, and I thought it was huge. And I remember she was describing there a method of clearing the space, the living space, or whatever working space, whatever space we are occupying or using. So I remember that I've done it, and you can. It's like she was also introducing simply clean your room, cleaning the cabinets, cleaning things which we haven't visited for a number of years, like attics, all the storages we are keeping sometimes for years at homes. And I remember that I sensed and I saw a profound difference when I've done it. And I was at the time in a transition period when I in my poor ashram life, when I ended a long-term relationship, and created, and so this was with intention to clear everything and create something new. Actually, something new has appeared just less than 6 months later, something new, a new relationship. And but coming back, yes, so this was the information I got before I met Swamiji. And I remember coming back to the satsang about which I just mentioned. So Swamiji was talking about how visiting a temple, how in the West we don't have this kind of facility, those kind of a system which allows us to deal with whatever the waste, mental or energetical waste we produce, the emotions which are being produced during the day, which we experience during the day, and which are being stored or kind of sit in our bodies or in our space. So what he was saying that yes, that in the West we don't have this kind of facility, this kind of system, whereas in the Hindu tradition, so when you go to a temple, when you sit down, when you simply sit down, when you allow yourself to just sit there, you don't, yes, people pray, people meditate, and you can do it, but also you can just simply sit down. And being in the presence of deities who went through a prana pratishta process, about which I will tell a few things in a moment, what is happening that the whole energy is being transformed. So you feel completely different. You feel rejuvenated. You feel refreshed. If you came to the temple with a very low mood, your energy will be transformed beyond imagination. And this is not the only words we do as having a guru. We do take the words, what is called vitarka, when we imbibe them and basically we trust or we build the trust to the guru. So his words are the words of truth. However, this is also my personal experience. So I had a pleasure looking after Swamiji's murti for about 4 months, and it was a few months ago. Now here in Tiruvannamalai we've got four large and seven small deities, and the experience is just absolutely astonishing. And I knew this. However, here I've got really on-hand experience. So what I'm doing actually in the temple here is I look after the deities. So I wake them up, I feed them. I also do the abhishekam, which is on a daily basis, which is the sacred bath, and I put them to sleep as well. And I do a puja as well during the day to them. So that's quite a lot of time spending in a temple. However, you don't have to spend that much time, although I would highly recommend, if you've got a challenging time in your life, if you just want to experience something completely different, a system which actually brings something amazing and enriching into your life, because it's not only the transformation of the energy, a temporary. Very often what is happening, it will be a profound change. Why? Because you've got a contact with the divine energy, an intelligence, higher intelligence, which know more about you than you know about yourself. So, yes, and coming back here, so prana pratishta. So prana pratishta is a process of consecrating a deity. So it is basically infusing and hooking into the higher consciousness. So as Swamiji very often, sometimes before the satsang, it happens that he, from time to time, he do a prana pratishta remotely on a 2 video conferencing with when a temple, as there are temples around the world, and their number will be growing. He does the prana pratishta when the temple receives a new deity. So this is and what he is saying, that the deities will answer your questions. And I remember I had a friend, I don't think I ever asked actually any questions. For me, it's more to experience and be in the energy of the divine, and yes, interacting with them. So, and yes, and the completion space. Whenever you need a completion, and you sit down with this intention, it simply happens. But I've got a friend, and I remember when she went, she was at the time in Singapore. So we've got a temple in Singapore, and quite a few in United States, also in Malaysia, and obviously here in India. And she said that actually she asked a question. And funny enough, she was born as Indian. So, and yet this experience for her was new. So she asked a question, and the question was actually answered, and she loved the energy. And she was going there, she was working at the time just on a very short contract, and going to the temple, to the Singapore temple on a daily basis. So, as I said, the contact with the deities, the potential, the nature of the divine, the nature of the really bringing this high energy, this high consciousness into an idol, into a deity, brings a tremendous healing, tremendous peace, whatever you really want. So as Swamiji was saying, that some of the deities will be giving boons. So basically whatever you ask for, they will grant it. So so that's something very, very good as well to have if you want anything. Swamiji himself, as an incarnation, so he gives boons to people. During a darshan, you can ask for a boon, or a kalpataru program. So that's something very unique, and that's something very precious. And yes, so prana pratishtha and the connecting the deity, the infusing the deity with the life force energy, the infusing with the higher force. And how does it relate to sannyas? Why am I talking in this context? Is just, I remember a story. I mean, obviously we do live with deities, we do have a temples, we look after them, and we do live with deities. And but I remember something which I'm not sure whether I still understand, because I'm on a path to Purna Sannyas. So the Purna Sannyas is the sannyas, in the full sannyas, when, let's say, there's no way back. So basically the Bhautika Brahmacharya, the orange kavi I'm wearing, is called a Bhautika Brahmacharya. Previously it was Grama Brahmacharya, and Swamiji created this transition or a probation or a trial period for people just to try, to see what it is, whether we like the lifestyle, whether it suits us, whether we like it, whether we want it. And the Purna Sannyas, you basically enter completely, totally the path. And Swamiji, this in the Purna Sannyas, this is his 100% commitment to your enlightenment. So if you want enlightenment, then this is the fast track or highway to enlightenment, and to become a monk, to become a monk of a Hindu tradition, or a monk of Nityananda order. That's highly recommended, and with the living master. But coming back to what I wanted to say, is basically one of the Purna Sannyasis. So coming back to Purna Sannyas, so these are, when you take the vows, and we took the vows as a Bhautika Brahmacharya as well. However, we still can drop the kavi. We still can say, okay, I don't like it, I can't manage. For whatever reason, we can just decide, okay, the experience is enough, and I just decide not to follow it. Or some people, because of certain circumstances or challenges, they drop a kavi, and then after some time, when whatever completion happens, very often they come back to take the vows again. So, but with Purna Sannyas, the difference is that as I said, there's no way back. So it means that there are serious karmic consequences if someone would like to leave the path. And so one of the Purna Sannyasis of Swamiji's order told me she wanted Swamiji during one inner awakening. He asked everyone, or someone asking, and he agreed to bring all the deities people have. And people have a tiny little deity, so deity can be very tiny. I've got these big deities which are present when I do puja, to mighty deities like Venkateshwara in Bengaluru Adinam, which is don't know how tall he is, probably about 5 meters, or maybe a little taller. And so the deities were standing next to Swamiji or at the front of the stage, and this Purna Sannyasi just decided, okay, I'm going to put my deity as well. And Swamiji was surprised, and what he told her is basically that, why do you want a deity? You are a deity. You are filled with the life force energy. You are connected completely with the higher consciousness, connected with Him. So when there is this umbilical cord which the disciples and the master is being connected with, and so my understanding is that this is a different level. When the Purna Sannyasi is basically, we give our life to the divine. So here, the divine in a human form as a master. So the whole body is being so consecrated of the Purna Sannyasi. So as Swamiji said, the sannyasi becomes a deity. So basically the energy, and I don't know if you've had an opportunity to speak to someone from a sangha, especially people who've been initiated, it's also a profound experience. I remember when I received a call from someone, I was still in London at the time, before I came to the Adinam, a couple of years ago. And I remember this amazing flow. You could feel like a rush coming, like the rush of energy. And I remember, this is amazing. This is how those people, the Purna Sannyasis, we are connected. Any disciple will be connected with Swamiji. Any initiation connects you. Swamiji connects you with him, with the higher consciousness. However, there is something different. So the more advanced, the more oneness, obviously, the Shaktipada, but the more also we are advanced, maybe not advanced, but on the stage of the sannyasi, the more we are connected to Swamiji, the more we are connected to his energy. So that's something very unique. That's something very unique, and not only that, when I think about it, is basically, in the context of the enlightenment, what else? What else do you want? And maybe on a different occasion, I would just say a few things about the karma and how important is the master in your life in terms of the karma. When it's our resident, a little dog in here, and yes. So if you never visited a temple, a Hindu temple, then I would highly, highly recommend it. And it's a dog. And Mahadeva says, don't tap the dogs. Don't, because you will have to shower, so I do apologize. Okay. And please. And so I will finish here. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. And as I said, if you never has visited a temple, a Hindu temple, I'm sure that the prana pratishtha has been done and is done properly, but one of the most beautiful and profound experiences. And if you are around our temples, so Nityanandeshwara Hindu temple, around the world, one in Ohio, in the United States, there is one in Los Angeles, Houston, if I remember right, Malaysia, Singapore. Malaysia, there will be few places, and as I said, in India, obviously, we've got few adinams, and there are temples around here. And so if you can come there, go there, just go. And have the experience of the divine, have the experience the first hand, have the experience of Swamiji as well. That's because his murtis are also in the temples, so you can experience him if you've never seen him, if you've never had a contact with him, of his energy. I mean, there's nothing like it be in his physical presence. So in awakening, coming to Bangalore Odinam, this is the only way. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, any comments, please feel free to write. Oh, thank you. Nityanandam.